I know you know where they are, so tell me, before I do some damage you won't walk away from.
Do it right. Sometimes you do it wrong and you prove them right. But through whose eyes you was wrong when you lose a life? Sometimes you lose it all. It's like you threw the dice and realize that you was off. Listen, do it right. Sometimes you do it wrong and you prove them right. But through whose eyes you was wrong when you lose a life? Sometimes you lose it all. It's like you threw the dice and realize that you was off. Longevity in life, people. That's the goal. Stay the course. You are now tuned in to the Evolved Energy Podcast. This is where we push positivity through strength and evolution. I am your host, Twyce. Hope everyone's in a positive state today. Forget about all negativity and darkness. We don't deal with it. So today's subject, we're going to talk about cardio. Some people hate cardio. Some people do way too much cardio. I see it all the time. And some people think cardio is the answer to all fitness goals. But the truth is, you got to use cardio as a tool. And like any tool, if you use it incorrectly, it can work against you instead of for you. And today we're going to break down cardio myths, how much cardio you actually need, how people accidentally lose muscle doing too much cardio, and how to use cardio to support your goals instead of sabotaging your goals. Let's get into it. So one of the biggest misconceptions in the fitness world is that cardio is the best way to lose weight. I'm going to ask you guys a question. What burns more calories, cardio or lifting weights? 9 times out of 10, people are going to say cardio, which is totally wrong. It's fitness, it's lifting the weights. Strength training burns way more calories than just doing cardio. But most people think if I run more, I'll lose more fat. And that's not necessarily true. See, fat loss isn't primarily driven by cardio. Okay, it's driven by the nutrition, the food you eat, and how much you eat. So let me put it this way. If you eat a whole lot of food the night before you work out, most people say, oh, let me go run this off. You're not going to run it off. You can't outrun a bad diet. You can't outbike poor eating habits. You can't out treadmill overeating every day. Cardio can help, but nutrition leads. See, when we do cardio, yeah, it helps us with some calorie burn. But if you were to strength train, you're going to get way more out of that than just doing cardio. Remember, you lose fat in the kitchen and reveal it through consistency. You have to be consistent in order to lose that fat. And this is where people get into trouble. They start a fitness journey and they immediately go jump on the treadmill for an hour, 2 hours, every day treadmill. Meanwhile, they're barely strength training. So what happens, yeah, they lose some weight, but they also lose muscle. So then their metabolism slows down. Then the body becomes softer. Then the energy drops. And they wonder why they don't look athletic. See, the thing is, when you're just doing the cardio, yeah, you're losing some inches. But like I said before, without the strength training, you're not staying strong. Your body's actually, I don't want to say shrinking, but if you look at long distance runners, most runners, they do that long cardio. They run a lot. So their body is I want to say slim. They don't have a lot of muscle definition. Whereas sprinters who do the short bursts, those short bursts of cardio, they're more muscular because that sprinting, that's a different type of cardio. When you do sprint intervals, that targets fat loss. But when you do that long, those miles and miles of cardio, that's not supporting the fat loss. It's actually more calorie burn, I should say. But when you're focusing on fat loss and how much body fat you have, that's when you have to be intentional and do either strength training or the intervals. Those short bursts of intensity, those short sprint intervals, that's what targets that fat, not the long distance running. See, weight loss and fat loss, they're two different things. Losing muscle isn't the goal. Preserving muscle while losing fat, that should be the goal. People get it confused. Now, if your goal is cardiovascular health, then yes, let's focus on running, long distance, um, even the sprint intervals. Those help you cardiovascularly as well. But depending on your goal, that's going to determine how much you run. Now, if your goal is improving body composition, then yeah, strength training should be at the top of the list. That's the foundation. And why? That's because muscle is metabolically active tissue. The more muscle you maintain, the more calories your body burns throughout the day. See, strength training, it doesn't just burn calories during the workout. It continues after the workout, probably about 24 hours. It's still supporting the calorie burn. So that's why I tell people build muscle first, build strength first, create a stronger engine, then use cardio as support. See, cardio burns calories during the workout. Muscle helps burn calories all day. So depending on your goal, if you want to be a long distance runner, that's one thing. But if you want a complete body composition, like you're well proportioned, you're in shape, your cardiovascular's up, as well as your strength, then you want to do both. You want to implement cardio the smart way. You don't just want to run because it's going to be uneven. You're not going to have enough muscle built, And for the runners that just want to strictly run, they have a different goal. They're working on their heart. The longer we run, the stronger our heart can be. We're actually training our heart when we're running. But it depends on your goals. My goal, really, I want to be well-rounded. So I just, like I said, I use cardio as a tool. And how I do it, I'll probably, after a hard training session, a strength training session, I'll walk at an incline for about 20 minutes. Uh, and it's actually, that's for my fat loss. It's called the slow burn. Because after I trained hard with the weights, and then I'm in a a slow burn, rather, sorry, not moderate, a slow burning state. So you're in the fat burning stage, as they call it, and I'm able to burn fat that way after my strength training session. And that's always good. And I keep that at an incline on the treadmill with a steady walk, not fast, not slow, just a real moderate pace. And that you're in the fat burning stage, and that's when you could burn your most of the fat after that workout. So I want to get a little specific on the different types of cardio that there is. Here's the breakdown. You got the low intensity steady state. That's what I was just saying about the walking on the incline after your hard training session. So there's different types of the low intensity steady state cardio. Walking, you can do the incline walking that I just mentioned. You got the easy bike rides and the casual hiking. Now, the low intensity steady state type of cardio, that's great for recovery. It's good for your heart health, also good for fat loss support. That's why I use it. The other type of cardio will be the moderate cardio, which is the stairmaster, jogging, rowing, and cycling. Now, that type of cardio, that's a good balance between calorie burn and conditioning. Now, the other type of cardio is the high intense interval training, which is HIIT that everyone mentions. Now, that's bike intervals, sprint intervals, and also rowing intervals. And those are very effective, but they're also very demanding. So, in those cases, you got to watch it because more is not necessarily always better. You got to watch that because you can lose muscle during that high intense interval training state. Those are those are very taxing. So you have to fuel yourself and implement them in your workout at the right time. We can't do HIIT every single day. I mean, for one, it'll probably hurt your joints after a while. And for two, your heart rate's up all the time. You want to fluctuate to lose that weight, and you want to switch the style of cardio and exercise that you do. You never want to go heavy every day. You never want to go light every day. But you want to mix it up, especially with the different types of cardio. Now, how much cardio do we actually need? And that depends completely on your goals. Now, if your goal is fat loss, I'm going to say you need about 2 to 4 sessions weekly. Combine the cardio with the proper nutrition and the strength training, and you're golden. Now, if your goal is muscle building, you don't need endless cardio because that's going to affect the muscle. You're going to start to lose muscle. But I'll say a few short sessions each week, and not the low steady state. You need those intervals because those are quick short bursts, and that's gonna hit your that's gonna burn your fat, so that way those muscles protrude and you're not burning in any muscle. Now, if your goal is general health, simply moving is huge. I say movement is medicine. Walking's good if you're just trying to improve your health. Now, me personally, some people think 20 minutes is good. 90 minutes must be better. Nope, not always true. To me, I think according to your goals, I have to keep stressing, according to your goals, if you're trying to lose that fat but you still want to be muscular, 20 minutes, that's the key. That's the sweet spot. 20 minutes at a low steady state. Now, if you want to improve your heart health, you want to strengthen cardiovascular health. That's when you start training for long distance and doing all types of miles on that treadmill or even a couple miles on the bike. You're going to improve cardiovascularly with that type of cardio. But again, it depends all on your goals. So first we have to be intentional about why we're training, what goal we're trying to reach, and then we implement the certain type of cardio. But it all depends on who you are and what your goal is and what you're reaching for. Now, one thing that I think is very important that you use cardio is for longevity. Now, cardio isn't just about the fat loss. Like I said, it's about your heart, your lungs, your circulation, your endurance, which then improves your quality of life. And research consistently shows regular cardiovascular activity, it supports heart health. It reduces the disease risk. It improves your mood. And most importantly, it supports healthy aging. See, cardio isn't punishment. Some people go in there and they got to run themselves to death and they treat it like it's punishment. But it's actually maintenance for the engine. So if you're doing the cardio, whatever cardio it is, it's all good for your heart. So that's one thing I would say. Implement some type of cardio, no matter what type of cardio you do, it's supporting your heart health. And that's our main reason, our heart. Without our heart, we're not living. So, yeah, do some cardio, ladies and gents. Definitely need some type. So this week, I want you to do something very important. I want you to evaluate your cardio. I want you to ask yourself, why am I doing this cardio? Is it helping me reach my goals? Is it supporting my recovery? Is it improving my health? This week, I want you to perform that type of cardio with purpose. Not like it's punishment, but for purpose. Do it intentionally. And I want you to research what type of cardio you need. So depending on your goals determines what cardio you're going to implement within your workout. Remember, cardio isn't the enemy. Use it as a tool. Strength training builds the body. Nutrition fuels the body. Cardio supports the body. Use all three of those wisely, and you'll build a stronger body, stronger heart, and a stronger future. So with that being said, I want you to fuel your body, focus your mind, and evolve your life. And remember, nothing changes if you don't change it. This is the Evolved Energy Podcast. Peace and power.